All righty. So the show is packed full as usual, and we are good to go. We begin with this developing story where the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has commenced activities to enforce the ban on the production of alcoholic beverages in small pack volumes of 200 millimeters, as well as sachets across the country. The Director General of the agency, Mojisola Adeyeye, said this at a meeting with stakeholders in the sector at the expiry or the expiration of a 5-year window period given to producers to reduce production by 50%. This was in 2018. We have details in this report.
The World Health Organization reveals that the harmful consumption of alcohol is linked to more than 200 health conditions, including infectious and non-infectious diseases. It is also associated with social problems such as alcohol addiction and gender-based violence. Alcoholic drinks in sachets, PET and glass bottles are affordable and can come in handy, and also be easily carried around by underage and young adults without notice. 5 years ago, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control had a similar high-level meeting with other agencies to recommend a 50% reduction in the production of sachets and small-volume alcoholic beverages. It also moved to stop the registration of the same products 2 years ago.
On the part of the agency, NAFDAC committed to ensure that the validity of renewal licenses of already registered alcoholic beverages in the affected category do not exceed 31st January 2024.
The agency says this move in line with government policy as a follow-up on the recommendation made by the World Health Organization on the need to curb the menace of the abuse of alcohol through the regulation of marketing and restricting the availability of alcohol. This will be done through the commencement of a nationwide enforcement.
This enforcement was done simultaneously at the same time in various cities across the country. Meanwhile, many products at the manufacturing facilities in various cities such as Jos, Enugu, Ibadan, Lagos, and Ota were evacuated, and others put on hold due to sheer volume and size that we could not evacuate, but all are waiting destruction.
NAFDAC appeals to the public to provide necessary intelligence and information to stop culprits from producing these categories of alcoholic beverages in order to halt circulation across the country.
And to give further fillip now to the move of NAFDAC, they have, of course, embarked on a mass enforcement of this latest directive banning the production of alcoholic beverages in small pack volumes of 200 millimeters, as well as PEP bottles, even containers with lower than the 200 millimeter mark. All this in a bid to ensure a safer society, Ibrahim. And the statistics are reeling. When you also look at the fact we live in Lagos, and I'm sure that I'm not speaking for Lagos alone, how rampant, this particular commodity has become. And, in the words of NAFDAC, it has become so severe, so serious that even school children are found with it. There is no regulation. There is no one curbing it. The sellers are just giving it to anybody who desires it at a fee. There was a reason for the manufacturers to produce this particular size of, alcohol beverage, but apparently it has found its way in the wrong hands, hence this move by the authorities. Yeah, I feel the authority actually moved, they're actually moving in the right direction, because at the end of the day, it's saving the lives of Nigerians, because some people, they do not understand the implication of taking this. That's why those who produce it, those who produce it under a proper regulation,
they will always warn you that you should drink responsibly. But people who can't even read, we see the way some of these motor boys, so to speak, the way they behave sometimes after they've consumed, not just the alcohol, but, mixing it with different things, referring to it as okpanyi and all of those, nomenclatures they gave it. So some people believe that without taking it, they won't be able to do what they want to.
On long hours, work for long hours.
So and then it comes back to affect them. So I'm not saying that it is not okay for some people who see the good side of it, but the truth of the matter is that the disadvantage in taking such alcohol is more than the advantage. For instance, it affects various parts of the body, including the brain, liver, heart, and immune system. Absolutely. And the brain, it also depresses activity, leading to impaired judgment, coordination, and memory. It also affects the liver, where it's metabolized, potentially leading to liver damage or disease. So over time, excessive alcohol consumption can weaken the heart muscle and increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. So it can also weaken the immune system, making the body susceptible to infection. So you can imagine how long health issues these have presented, and they'll find it very difficult to resolve. And the importance of liver to the body organ.
To the body. Indeed, this is, such a very serious health concern. And of course, it goes beyond your health, because as crucial as the health of individuals is now, there is also, the other attendant consequences, the psychological, the social impact, how it will also, affect the national development.
That's
People
right.
that are supposed to perform at, their optimum are now found to be reeling under the effect of the abuse of these substances. And then there is also the economic angle, because there was a protest yesterday, and I'm seeing it's also kind of being reflected in the papers, because according to the manufacturers, they say under their caucus, under their body now, they say the issue of notice, jobs of at least 500,000 individuals are now at risk with this ban, and they're asking for some form of consideration. But Professor Adeyeye has spoken that in engagement with these same individuals, as well as stakeholders years back, they all agreed that January the 31st this year would be the deadline, for the expiration of, this production, which means that as from February the 1st, they and other partners will kick off, enforcing the ban. So how that people are now coming on now to complain about not being given sufficient notice, that is also, an interesting, angle. And we really wait to see how it will all pan out, because I'm also concerned about the enforcement. Does NAFTA?
Yeah, it's not the first time they are doing this, because I've seen.
It's not the first time.
I've seen several places where they say they've banned this, they've banned that, and then year in, year out, you still get to see all of these things, still making their way.
It's still it looks like something that will be a very Herculean task. Look at the ban on Indian hemp smoking. We see how it has even gone beyond, hiding it. People do this in the open. People don't just do this in the comfort of their homes. Yeah. But we see the brazen display of the youth and, other categories of people who indulge in this act.
Yeah,
yet knowing that it's a crime.
Yeah, there is one thing, to have the law in place. There's another thing for you to get the law to enforce these laws. Those who are the enforcers, are they not part of the abusers? And they are friends to some of these people who are supposed to be arrested. So if we are not ensuring that we do our own proper house cleaning, how do we clean the environment? So it should start from those who will be the enforcers of this law, talking about the security agencies who are supposed to go after these people who are abusing these substances. So it's very important that we do the right thing and get it done at the end of the day.
But so far, so good. Health experts and others are commending the directive, this move by the government, and everyone is hoping, is of course watching to see just how much clout the government will be able to pull this time around to ensure